We are Cactus Wrestling. Make sure you hit that like button and subscribe so you don't miss out on future videos.
Welcome back to Cactus Wrestling. This weekend it's getting spicy.
Oh yeah.
Well, let's just we're gonna go kind of not rapid fire, but we're just gonna go over some big matches, big matchups. Starting off with Keegan O'Toole nearly losing to Peyton Hall of West Virginia. It was down 6-1 in the first period, and then just rallies back like a boss and beats him 8-7. And then he wrestles Julian Ramirez today. Julian Ramirez gets the first takedown, duck under, is up 4-1 after 2 periods. And then what does Keegan O'Toole do in the third period? Just chews him up. Just like chews him up, spits him up, eats him up, majors him.
Well then.
So that just shows, Keegan's dominance at 165.
I mean, I was surprised about the whole Peyton Hall match. Peyton Hall had the lead and basically blew the match. I was surprised that the Peyton Hall was the guy that was able to do that to Keegan.
I mean, he's a former All-American, and he's tough. He's wrestled Peyton tough, and
not that he's not tough, but still, he hasn't exactly
been
having the season that you'd think he might be in contention to knock off Keegan O'Toole.
I think it's a matchup thing because he's very funky, and I don't know. It could just be like a matchup thing. But Julian Ramirez, he did get that one duck under today, but Keegan he's just so slick. He'll just dive in a low single, and then there was one kind of scramble that Keegan came up on top, and he was the aggressor. He was pushing the pace the entire match. He just looked really good.
Do you think Ramirez wasn't trying to protect his record by not sitting out?
He towed the line.
Well, shout out to Cornell. They beat Missouri. I mean, that was a big dual win. So that kind of
would they have won the duel had Veto?
Veto did wrestle.
No, had Veto not.
Well, that gets that gets us
Veto,
another
Veto
match.
Veto won 10-9. I mean,
yeah,
super close against Cade Moore, who's ranked 24th.
Cade Moore, he got him on he was Vito was trying to pull him back in from the edge, and then Cade Moore picked his ankle, and then
I love that,
got swipes from it. So he got a takedown and 3 or 4 swipes. So it was a big move. But Vito, he kind of looked a little sluggish. He didn't really turn it on until the third period where he took him down twice back to back. It was 15 seconds. He took him down, let him up, and then right in again and took him down.
Trying to do the Austin Gomez, Sammy Sasso?
Yes. Yeah. Yeah.
That.
But there was another. Oh, you go.
No, I was just saying Vito, I mean, he's back to the lineup, which is good because he's out all season. But he's definitely got some rust to shake off because
I mean, after he won the world title, I think everybody thought Vito's untouchable. No one's going to even come close. And he's got a loss, and he has a near loss.
Multiple, very
clearly not as dominant as he was or seemed to be just a few months ago.
Yeah,
he's shocking to see.
Yeah, I don't know what's going on with Veto. I thought that it's him and Keegan both wrestling from behind going to the third is not what you'd expect for guys that are wow, they really ran the gauntlet, dominated the field last year and they tore it up, and you're just wow, what's going on?
And these weren't even guys who are top 5 guys.
No, that's what I mean. You're really what's happening out there?
You would expect that from a Julian Ramirez, but I mean, he got the first takedown, but not close after that.
That Mizzou match too had another upset with Cardenas beating Elam 4-0.
Shapiro, not Cardenas. Oh, sorry. Oh, you're thinking Jacob Cardenas. Oh, sorry. Yes. I was thinking Cardenas from Stanford. My mind was on 57.
We'll get to Shapiro.
I thought you were gonna say Shapiro. That's all I'm thinking about. Sorry.
Lamb.
Do Do you want to talk? I mean,
97.
4-0. I mean, it was an upset. There's not much to talk about it. Let's talk about Shapiro though.
I
Well,
mean,
a Lamb usually is like undefeated going into like the conference tournament.
I just
Yeah,
think
he's good.
like aside from Noah Certain who did like a gator roll pin against
Oh
Brett
yeah, that
Leger,
was sick.
Yeah,
and
I saw that. That was
Keegan
pretty funny.
in Keegan's triumphant win, Missouri kind of looked a little flat in that duel. I don't know.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah,
like,
and then the other Lamb at heavyweight only won 2-1.
yeah, I think they looked pretty flat. Maybe it was the travel. I don't know, but they didn't look like they were at the top of their
They don't
game.
wrestle well in New York.
Yeah, maybe not. Donnie
Cold
Vincent was too intimidating with his mustache and suit. But Shapiro, I mean, when this
He
guy's
just
on the top of his game, he is deadly. Oh my god.
murdered Brock
Just
Muller.
like he was toying with him, 4 takedowns, majored him. Brock
It's
Muller,
crazy because Mahler's so stingy. He usually doesn't give up a
Yeah.
ton of points.
yeah, he's built. He's a 3-time All-American. Uh, I- and Shapiro, you look at him, he's lanky. He does, he wrestles so unorthodox. I think he just you never know what angle he's going to come from. He hit the sickest duck under I've ever seen. Just like kind of fake one and then popped out the other side, duck under.
Super duck?
And then like he'll shoot in, he'll get like extended, arms extended, and then it doesn't matter. Like he'll just suck the guy in and he'll finish his shots. And like Mahler, no scrambles or anything. He he just looked like he had no answer.
Yeah, Mahler's not the scramble type. Like getting those big crazy scrambles.
I wish Meyer was at 165 so badly. I think the fireworks between Mesenbrink, O'Toole, Carr, Meyer,
Oh,
Leznick, Ramirez. I mean, there's so many guys up there that I'm like, wow. Like, I just think that him and Mesenbrink too, the two styles clashing would be instant must see match. Like, classic match, like a match that you talk to your kids about years from now.
but weren't they even talking about Meyer going 49 before the season started?
Yeah, I think that there was talks about it, but I don't think I think he's too big.
Yeah.
He has the frame to go up.
Yeah, he's long.
He wants to be Kyle Dake part 2.
Well,
He could.
it was funny. And it's funny you mentioned Mesenbrink because this literally could be the shortcomings of Kyle Dake, David Taylor 2.0 with these two guys, just like the legacies that these guys could bring.
Oh, that would be
They are
nuts.
that good.
That would be nuts if Meyer like won it this year at 57 and Mesenbrink.
1-65.
And then they both end up meeting at like 74 or something.
A few years down the road, could be.
Could be. It could be.
You heard it here first. Mesenbrink, Shapiro at 74 national finals.
Dake Taylor 2.0 question mark?
Yeah, David Taylor 2.0 question mark.
Do you want to talk about Michigan versus Ohio State?
Yeah, so Michigan, they lost that duel because Sergio Lemley was sick.
Yeah, forfeit
No,
49.
it wasn't sick. He was flagged with a skin thing.
Oh, the
Yeah.
skin thing.
They said
Yeah.
like the night before or something. It was like super, super last minute where they're like, we can't
Yeah,
do
like he
anything
popped
about
up
it.
in the morning and then like it was like too late. They didn't have a backup, so
Yeah,
it
I was
sucks
a
to be
little
them.
upset when I saw the forfeit.
Yeah, you're like, what the heck happened? Why would you forfeit at that level?
Why would you forfeit in a duel like this?
And Jesse Mendez was angry too. He was shaking his head. He didn't like it. Rightly so. He's at home. He wants to show off.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was
But-
not expecting Ragusin to major Bouzakis.
No, not at all.
The Bouzakis roller coaster continues where it's like some weeks he's like kicking butt, and some weeks you're like, dude, who is this guy?
Yeah.
Well, I think
Well-
he's kind of overly physical sometimes because he'll like push in, and then some of these guys who have a little bit more finesse, they can get these slide bys and these go behinds, and the dude just like falls over. So
And
I think
Ravison's having keep going, sorry.
no, I think he'll adjust like the same way he did against Santaniello with Pitt because he
Yeah.
lost against him, and then later on
That's
in
a
the
good
season
point.
beat him because all the guy did was shuck buys. So I think Bouzakis will learn from this, but he definitely has some more developing to do because the guy's built like a tank. He just needs to learn a little bit more of the finesse and the technique.
That family wrestles.
Yeah.
Him, his sister, his brother. I mean, his sister just won a huge event for the women's side. Where she, not to derail, but she's a high school freshman, I think, at like 101, and she beat two number ones ranked in college.
Oh, is that all?
Yeah, she's a pretty good day. Solid. Average day for Jacqueline
Like winning
Gonzalez.
JV Worlds,
Yeah,
Dave Coursey style.
shout out Dave Coursey. Were you surprised by Griffith Rocco Welsh?
Oh, that was a tight.
No, I was gonna make a post on Friday. We didn't get around to it, but I was predicting Rocco Welsh to beat Shane Griffith.
Hmm.
Shane
He could've.
Griffith won the match 2-1 because he wrote him out. That was literally the only reason.
Yeah, but I mean, yeah, Welsh is gonna have a good career, I think.
Man, I'm gonna play devil's advocate here. I thought Rocco Welsh was gonna beat him, and I thought it wasn't gonna be overly close. This isn't a knock on Shane Griffith, but watching him have the same exact score to Terrell Barraclaw, who's a Penn State backup, made me think like, well, Terrell Barraclaw, I don't expect him to be like an All-American tomorrow. And even when guys graduate, I don't expect him to be an All-American. I expect him to be a backup, and that's no slight on him. He's a great wrestler. He's just not at that level. And to bump up a weight class and have the same score as a guy like Rocco Welsh, I was just surprised, I guess. I thought Rocco would beat Shane Griffith, and it just surprised me that there was the same outcome.
He's saving it for Big Tens or NCAAs. He
He
wants
has
to
so
lock
much
him into a
mojo
false
left.
sense of security, so he's
I
playing
think
the long game here.
I think Shane's having a tough time finishing at this weight class. I don't know if it's like he's just
Too
not
small.
big enough for 74 or what, but he's not getting the takedowns. He's good on top. He'll throw in the leg and he'll ride guys out. But if it comes down to a takedown, I just don't feel confident that he's going to get that low single that he goes to and finish the shots that he typically does or has at 165.
Yeah. But back to Ragusin, he's on a pretty good little win streak here. I mean, he beat Nagao.
Yeah.
Now he majors Buzak. I mean, that's 2 bonus point wins over 2 really, pretty solid guys.
Who were both Big Ten.
And he also majored Koliako earlier in the year. He's got a couple wins over Shawver and of Rutgers. Like he's really shaping up. Like he's coming into his own. Like I thought he All-American, in the past, and then I was like, wait, no, he never did. In my mind, he should have, but then never pulled it off. But this year, it seems like if he doesn't, it's going to be like a travesty on his performance.
Quietly putting together a very good season.
Yeah, maybe Vito's next.
Could be the way that he wrestled today.
I would be so mind blown if Ragusin knocked off Veto.
Hey, he's got to get through either Cullen Shriver or Brody Teskey next week.
Yeah,
I'd be afraid of Teskey.
How about Feldman over Davis? I was not picking this one.
Davidson?
Davidson.
Yeah.
Usually, like he'll lose to like the guys that finish above him, and that's it. So I wouldn't have put Feldman above him.
No,
it was weird. His one takedown was kind of like a go behind, and I mean he looks like he outsizes him by 30 pounds. Davidson.
What is going on there, Davidson?
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, maybe Kirk kind of broke him a little bit there.
Oh, you think that's it? Not Younger?
I think he's just been having a tough few weeks.
I mean, peg him in for 5th at the Nationals, but
I mean, he's good at getting 5th.
Yeah, I mean, it's
some
even
guys
on
are
his
destined for 5th.
Yeah, even on his bad days, he's still an All-American.
Yeah,
it definitely jumped Feldman in my books because I was like, look, I mean, he's a great wrestler in high school, but he's just too small for college. And we saw he was like losing to guys or having super close matches with guys that are big but not very high ranked. And he really made me, I ate crow for this. I was like, wow, he really, really changed my mind there. And if he can grow a little bit more, he has the build to be a really, really great heavyweight. He's got the athletic ability. I mean, if he wasn't so small, he'd be doing crazy things. I mean, you look at him, you're like, wow, this dude is massive. He's just shrunk down for a little bit for heavyweight.
I think he's starting to figure it out. He's figuring out a way to take down these heavy guys. I'm very interested to see how he stacks up against Kirk next week. That'll be a real test in my book. Yeah. He seems to be a landmine type guy come nationals.
Yeah. What's your score prediction in that match?
Me?
Well, either.
Major.
I don't know. I don't know if it's a major. I mean, didn't Wyatt major him? I think Wyatt
I
majored
don't
him.
know if Wyatt did or not. I would say it's a major just because I think that Wyatt and Kirk are just really, even on their bad days, are head and shoulders above the rest of the competition right now. It really seems
Might
like,
be head and shoulders ahead, but that doesn't necessarily mean.
you don't think he's going to major him?
I mean, he might. Oh, he should. I mean,
Yeah, I don't know. I think it's going to happen.
he really should, but um, I mean,
Well,
I don't think it'll be close. Especially, yeah, no, with the 3-point takedown, I'm not even.
Yeah, I think 3-point takedown opened a lot. But I could definitely see Feldman as an All-American potential now, and it wasn't something that I thought earlier this year.
yeah.
I, I don't. I feel like he's going to be around as well.
I could
He's
see
getting
it.
good at the right time.
Yeah.
I could
You
see it.
know, a win is a win is a win, as some guys have commented. Doesn't matter. I saw someone say, I'd rather take an ugly win than a pretty loss all day. And Feldman's gotten a lot of ugly wins, but
Yeah.
he's gotten done.
A couple more upsets. This one's not really an upset, but Cole Matthews beats Ryan Jack. I
That
mean,
is
By
an upset.
rankings, it's an upset.
Cole Matthews is 4-0 against him in his career, so
Yeah.
Yeah.
it's just bound to happen again.
High scoring match, 15-10.
A lot of takedowns. A lot of
That's
takedowns.
not normal for Cole Matthews.
No, who
No,
His
yeah.
matches are usually very low scoring.
3-1 or something, or 4
Yeah.
Cole Matthews wishes he could wrestle RJ every day of the week.
Can I wrestle a national title against RJ?
Yeah.
I mean,
And,
that'll
I'll win that
throw
every
off the
week.
rankings because Cole Matthews is like 10-9 on the season. He's had
Yeah,
a
he was
lot
like
of losses.
he was ranked in the 20s, and I think RJ was like 6.
Number 4. No, number 4.
No, 4. Yeah,
Ah.
he's 4.
Yeah.
Dang, yeah, this is not going to be a good day for NC State for that ranking.
Yeah.
Camacho out for a little bit too, we noticed.
Yeah, NC State's been having some woes.
Honestly, even though Camacho beat Matt Ramos earlier in the year, I feel like Trombley's the better guy come nationals. Like Camacho's never All-American. I know Trombley hasn't either, but Trombley, for all purposes, beat Matt Ramos at last year's NCAA tournament. I mean, he lost. Don't get me wrong, but like he blew the match in the last 3 seconds. Gave it up in the last 3 seconds.
I mean, well, Ramos was on a tear of I'm gonna win in the last 2 seconds. I'm gonna win in the last 3 seconds. I'm gonna steal this record.
So I don't know if Camacho's we know him because he's from Connecticut a little bit in his history, and he could be battling injuries and wrestling through it. But it's tough because he was ranked number 1 at one point during the season. So hopefully, I don't know. We'll see what happens. But Trombley's definitely a good backup for NC State.
Yeah, it's great that you have the depth of where you lose a guy and it's not even like that much of a loss. Like if he is out with an injury, you're replacing with a guy that's very similar caliber.
Yeah.
And then Steve Pulin beats Jory Volk. Got a nice little 2-point tilt to secure that one, 3-1.
Oh yeah. I think that the Steve Pulin story continues on. Every time big wrestling fans out there might have seen the Steve Pulin video when he was a kid. That's like My Life Be Like, where he has the mohawk and he walks around the mat like this. Anytime I think of Steve-O, that video plays in my head.
That's why I'm rooting for him so hard.
Love that.
Well, yeah, 25. You still shake it, and who won?
Yeah. Except for Braden Davis.
Oh,
well, he'll have a nice little test.
So far,
he'll have a little nice test against Ayala in a couple weeks.
Yeah, him and Ayala would be pretty good in a few weeks.
We had.
How about,
okay, go ahead.
I was gonna say, how about for duels? Made me think Lil Rock upsetting Oregon State after they beat Arizona State. I mean, this team is firing on all cylinders. You got a guy like Nazir Bailey on this program, and they are just came out of nowhere, doing all the things they're supposed to do, beating the big names, just super big upside for this program.
Yeah, no, they're definitely doing the right things because they're making it some noise, and
Yeah. Oh yeah.
I mean, this wasn't a Division I team 5 years ago,
Yeah.
and now they're a top 20 team, and in a historically weak wrestling state in Arkansas. Like, how
Yeah.
does this happen? It
It's
it gives me
testament to their
hope
coaching.
for other programs who potentially add wrestling in the next couple of years to develop and grow a program like this. I mean, this is incredible for the for the sport of wrestling.
UConn, are you listening?
Yeah.
Yale.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Yale
Yeah.
in the Ivy League. Bring it back.
Um, but yeah, I think it's awesome. I think it's a real testament to their coaching staff and the guys in the team. They believe in what they're working towards. Um, and I really shout out Nazir Bailey a lot for this because when he committed as one of the top guys in the nation in his high school class, I'm like, why would he pick Little Rock out of any school? Like he had all these, top, Power Five schools he could have gone to. And I'm like, well, there goes his career. And he's
You
really
almost knocked off Veto.
that's what I mean. And if you're good enough, you can go anywhere. And I
Andrew
think that,
Alirez.
yeah,
Andrew Lears, yeah.
Northern Colorado. I think it gives hope when guys complain about like, hey, it's just Iowa, Penn State, etc., and it's only these few guys, and you see these programs not going quietly into the night.
Yeah.
I love that. I think it's great for the
Love to see
sport.
it.
So shout out to Little Rock for that.
You go, Little Rock.
We had two other big matchups between top 5 guys. Parker Keckheisen versus Dustin Plott, number 1 and number 2. I thought this was going to be a little bit closer, but Keckheisen, man, whew,
Yeah.
12-6 beats him up. I mean, and this was after Dustin Plott recently beat Trey Munoz.
Yeah. I thought Plot was going to win this. When we talked about the Friday, but what results do you want to put up? I thought Plot could sneak out a victory here, and Keckheisen slammed that door on him. I think I even read it was the biggest ranked win he's had, like the biggest score differential against a number 2 guy he's had.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
What about Truax?
Well, that wasn't an official match.
Yeah.
He was losing most of that match.
He usually beats Truax by like 1 point.
Yeah, I mean, he was chasing a major against Dustin Plott, who was a really solid wrestler.
Yeah.
Yeah, the guy's a beast. And then the other one was David Carr beats Izzy Olenek.
Yeah.
I think 8-1 was the score.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Something like that.
Olenek on a lose streak.
Carr's getting good at the right time. I mean, for as wild as 125 is, I feel like 165 is almost up there where it's like, okay, like you have all this talent, and it seems like some guys are winning the matches they're expected to win. Some guys are losing. Some guys are winning random matches. It's all over the place.
Some are stealing them.
Yeah, some guys are snatching matches right away. And we just saw, Jack brought it up, O'Toole with his, just squeaks out against Peyton Hall. And then he destroys Ramirez. You have Carr that beats Alejnik, almost, big score differential. Alejnik was on fire earlier in the year. Now he's seems to slide a little bit. Mesenbrink had to bring in a Penn State guy. You know me, just beating guys left and right. But this 165 weight class, I think is the hardest weight class in NCAA's, bar none.
Yeah, it's got a lot of depth.
Mike, bring it home with the one that you wanted to mention.
Oh, for Penn State.
No, other Mike.
Me?
Overtime.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, well, yeah, Jared Franick, he almost bit the dust to Trevor Trumbley.
Overtime.
Yeah.
Overtime, 4-1. I wouldn't have pegged that to be the case.
Why not? Trevor Trumbley is one of 2 guys to ever beat Meyer Shapiro.
Yeah.
I can't. Franick has 1 loss this year, or is it 2 now? No, it's still 1.
Well, he still has the one. It was just to block us.
Yeah, he's only lost to Blockus. Like, I wouldn't have pegged him to. Shapiro lost to Franick, or was that Chittum?
Chittum.
It was Chittum. Nah, that's right. That was.
Yeah,
But
Iowa State versus Iowa.
Still, I wouldn't have pegged Chumbley to be in this close of a match with him.
He's like Northwestern's top guy.
Just because you're the best guy on the team doesn't mean that.
I also give it to Franick too, like his style of trying to be very close with matches. I think when we've talked about this, I think it's going to end up biting him, and it almost did against Trumbley.
Yeah, the any guy like Jason Surtsis, where he kind of slid each year
Yeah,
further down because he kept matches close, and he was like, I know I can win any close match until he couldn't.
yeah.
So that's the weekend recap. Wasn't every single match and every single update. So comment down below which ones did we miss and what were the most surprising ones that you watched over the weekend. And as always, thanks for watching Cactus Wrestling. Make sure you hit that like button and subscribe if you haven't done so already.
Thanks for watching. We are Cactus Wrestling, and we'll see you next time on our next video.